morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, May 23rd, 2014. There will be no broadcast this coming Monday. It's a U.S. federal holiday for Memorial Day, and it's a bank holiday in Great Britain. The fallout continues at the top echelons of Lloyds. Now it is Luke Savage, who has been the chief financial officer at Lloyds for 10 years, is leaving. He's going to take the same role at a life insurer in Britain called Standard Life. Mr. Savage was passed over for the position that Richard Ward had when Lloyds appointed Inga Beale as the CEO of Lloyds. So now Savage is moving on. He's going to be paid a basic salary of £600,000 at Standard Life, or $1 million. He's going to be eligible for an annual bonus of up to £900,000. His replacement is temporarily going to be John Parry, who's going to step in. He's a Lloyd's person. He's stepping up. Also, his role is going to be bifurcated. Apparently, the operations role is going to be headed by Shireen Khoury-Haq, who's currently the head of group operations at Catlin. So they're going to see what happens. Presumably, they're going to look for somebody to replace him on the financial front as well. But the splitting of the role is going to mean that title is going to be significantly less powerful. So this probably means that Ms. Beale, with the acquiescence of John Nelson, is consolidating control at the management level. Former Altera reinsurance chairman Tom Wafer is working on a reinsurance startup in Bermuda with a fund manager called Golub Capital, G-O-L-U-B. Wafer had left Altera after its takeover by Markel last year. He's understood to have teamed up as well with former colleagues Joel Livingston and Andrew Cook. He's apparently looking to establish a rated Bermudan vehicle with a strong underwriting focus, as well as an alternative investment strategy managed by Golub Capital. This is a familiar theme now. Certainly Third Point Re has done it. The venture is expected to target capital in the region of $750 million. Amlin announced a restructuring just a few minutes ago. They're going to reorganize themselves into a tripartite structure. And more information on that is coming out as we're speaking. But they did release information earlier indicating that their investment in the insurance-linked security specialist Leadenhall Capital Partners has increasingly made the relationship between the two of them much more productive, and allowed Amlin to ward off much of the worst effects in cat pricing, especially in the U.S., by being able to make available insurance-linked security products developed by Leadenhall. Leadenhall, of course, is led by John Wells and Luca Albertini. A gas explosion yesterday in an apartment building in Moscow injured 5 people, including an American diplomat, apparently. The American embassy confirmed that one diplomat had been injured. The explosion ripped through several apartments in a building on Kuzvatsky Prospect, which is one of the main thoroughfares in Moscow. Police said the explosion was caused by natural gas. Reported insurance industry losses from the severe snowstorms which struck Japan in February have now increased to about $2.5 billion U.S. The last update of this had been much lower, at about $1.42 billion, but it's now up to about $2.5. At this level of losses, which could rise as more claims are going to come in, the February snowstorm is the 4th largest insurance industry loss in Japan from a windstorm-related event since 1991. A second person has died in Istanbul as a result of injuries sustained during a protest yesterday and a confrontation with the police and military. This individual was apparently wounded gravely by a hand grenade and then died this morning. At least 8 police officers were injured during the clashes, which saw police firing live ammunition, tear gas, and rubber bullets to disperse demonstrators protesting the death of a 15-year-old who died in March from wounds received 9 months before in clashes with police. The protesters also chanted slogans about the most recent mine disaster in Turkey, in which 301 million people were killed. Many people believe that the government's response to that tragedy was, quote, unfeeling, end of quote. Well, here's an interesting thing. We've been aware of this, actually. Millions of honeybees headed for Maine were left in a state of flux on Wednesday after the tractor-trailer carrying them to Maine crashed on I-95, just south of Wilmington, Delaware. Beekeepers were quickly called in to recapture the bees. The bees were valuable cargo for farmers in Maine because the honeybees used to pollinate several of the state's key crops, including Maine blueberries and apples. Bee experts say that in recent years, the population of honeybees in the U.S. have dropped by at least 40%, and it continues to drop, mostly, they surmise, as a result of pesticides. So as a result, crops that require pollination are no longer being pollinated because there are fewer bees to do it. So beekeepers have in fact begun to increase their populations and rent their bees out. So these bees now travel per rental agreement to farms around the country to perform their pollination tasks. Maine farmers say that without the bees, we won't have any berries, and that's not just blueberries, it's any kind of berry, and also the apples too will go. Very interesting. Let us not forget what Memorial Day on Monday is. It's a day to remember all of those who lost their lives, made the ultimate sacrifice, preserving the freedom and fighting for this country. It'll be a good day to reflect on just what that means. That's the news for today. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.